yeah, Sunset Rewind 2025 edition. The regular season is officially in the books. It is history, just like that.
Blink of an eye.
Wow.
It goes quick. All those seniors, they always say to the younger kids, and we say that as coaches, enjoy it while you can because it doesn't last very long.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Okay, so we got a bunch of games this week. Let's start with Los Alamitos. What do you think?
Man, I'm still recovering from that one. So the scenario was Los Al was at home hosting Mission Viejo, number 4 in the state.
Right.
If they win it, they would share the Alpha League title. Not a lot of people had a faith in Los Al, but boy, they gave the Diablos all they could handle. So
They sure did.
Murph, pull up my screen, please. Let's get into this. All right, Mission Viejo, early on, their Ohio State commit. It's going to drop back, but intercepted. Leo Sweetness Lakowski gets the intercept. I thought I turned off end zone cam.
Mo, I even asked
I know,
you about
Taryn,
this.
I apologize. We're watching this again. Luke Fahey, the Ohio State commit, is going to drop back, but Leo Sweetness Lakowski is going to jump in front of it, get the interception, set the offense up on the right side of the field, and there, Beckman Hoffman, the fullback, would get into the end zone. So, Los Alamitos would take an early lead, but Mission would respond. After the Mission touchdown, Lenny Ibarra, where have I seen this before? It's going to take the kickoff up the middle, down the sidelines, wouldn't score, but 7 yards later, Los Alamitos would be set up in the run zone, and from there, Lenny Ibarra out of the Wildcats going to keep it, following the offensive line, gets a touchdown, so now it's 14-13, Los Alamitos. First quarter still, and we got a ball game. More Los Alamitos. This time, Colin Creason is going to find Camden Tillis. It's 4th and 10. Los Al staying aggressive. Nice job by the receivers blocking downfield. Another big block. It's going to spring him free. So 4th and 10. Los Al staying aggressive. The drive would continue into the second quarter. This time, Lenny Barra back at quarterback. Wildcat is going to pull it. Sees the green. Takes it up the middle. Los Al 21-20. All right, Mission Viejo now has got the ball and the lead. They're trying to extend that lead. But Johnny Howes is going to get the strip. He's going to recover it. So the Griffins get the ball back. With an opportunity to take the lead, they would. Guess who? Lenny Ibarra, Wildcat. Bounces it to the outside, running through defenders. It's going to take it to the edge, gets in the end zone. So Los Alamitos, 28-27, back and forth the Titans would go. More Los Al, it's going to be a hook and ladder, sort of. Sometimes you got to get lucky on that execution. So that would be Creason to Lakowski to Tillis. Again, Los Al's back in the red zone. This time, Creason's going to drop out. He's going to keep it. No! Beckham Hoffman wide open, the back of the end zone. So it's 35-34 right before half. Mission Viejo trying to get the lead back, but the force of freedom. Rambo Ranger off the edge, beating the tackle, brings down the quarterback. And that's how we'd go at halftime, 35-34. Second half. Los Al comes out. Creason to Hoffman. They're going to extend that lead, 49-41. More Los Al. Camden Tillis this time following the offensive line. So at this point, the score is 49-41, and this is when the wheels kind of start to fall off. Los Al was getting the ball back with a 1-point lead in the fourth. Mission Viejo off the score is going to kick it. The ball lands on the turf, kind of takes a funny bounce. The return man can't pick it up. Mission would get the ball on the 1, down 1. They would score. Then the wheels kind of came off at that point. Mission Viejo would go on to score 30 straight. The final would be 79-49. So a lot of scoring. Like I said, Los Al gave them all they could handle, but in the end, Mission was just too much. But a great game. I know those kids are disappointed, but you got to applaud the effort. That was a heck of a football game.
Wonderful game. I mean, Creason, 295 yards. They gave Mission Viejo all they could handle. The score was like 49-48 with around 9:45 left in the fourth. So Los Al just had some things not go their way at the end. But, valiant effort to hang with Mission Viejo like that and put up a fight like that. And, of course, me and Taryn on Wednesday night got to attend senior dinner. So thank you to the Ranger family, the Hoffman family, McKenna family. The Ibarras were there. It was a wonderful event we got to go to, and the Los Al community is just so awesome. And we got to give a special shout out to Mrs. Ibarra, who basically makes the best ice cream you've ever had in your life. So if you ever have an opportunity to get ice cream from Mrs. Ibarra, please do. Shout out to her and to the whole Los Al community. And
I had 2 of those.
yeah, I had the Oreo, the double Oreo.
Yeah.
Was unbelievable. Taryn, what'd you have there?
Yeah. Well, thank you to the Mrs. Ibarra for the ice cream. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you to the Ranger family and the entire Los Alamitos family for having us. We really appreciate their hospitality.
And that was fun.
Absolutely. As for the game, look, Los Alamitos gave Mission Viejo all they could handle. You can't really blame Los Alamitos because normally when you score 49 points, you're more often than not winning. But you're facing a Mission Viejo team that has an Ohio State commit. Jack Junker was also big for the Diablos as well, especially without Vance Spafford. So I think for Los Alamitos, they could hang their hat on. They were able to keep up through 3 quarters with a very talented Mission Viejo team who was nationally ranked in the top 25 via Max Preps. But now Los Alamitos is going to have to regroup. I'm certain they'll make the playoffs as an at-large. I can't imagine this team not getting in. Yeah, so I think for Los Alamitos, they're going to be a dangerous team no matter which team draws.
Luke Fahey is legit. That guy has got a rocket for an arm. He overthrew a guy like on a 65-yard bomb, and man, he throws a rope. And I'll tell you who else who impressed me live was Colin Creason. That dude is fast.
Yeah.
A couple times he pulled it and got the edge. I didn't realize how fast he was. We knew he was athletic. We knew he could throw the ball, but he's got some speed. So I'll be curious to see where he ends up next year because he's a heck of a football player.
So we're actually less than an hour away from finding out
All right,
where Los Al's going to go. So
let's get through this.
See how Corona Del Mar did this week. Tough game for them as well.
Boy, I got a lot of thoughts on this whole controversy, the San Juan Hills thing. I guess we'll talk about that more on the Fans on the CAF show.
Right.
But, all right, Murph, pull my thing up, please. CDM was on the road at Yorba Linda. They were already co-champs. Would they have it outright? Well, not if their defense had anything to say about it. Yorba Linda already had a 7-0 lead, looking to expand it, but Tucker Murray gets in front of the receiver. Nice jump, nice high point. So the defense would make the first play for Corona Del Mar on the Murray interception. Dude, I turned off ends. Now I'm getting upset. Wow. Anyway, we're moving on. The defense would get the ball back for the offense. From there, Brady Annette would drop back, find J.J. Haley, a 50-yard bomb. Couldn't get into the end zone, but it didn't matter because on the next play, Annette is going to call his own number. He's going to roll out. Blockers in front of him. Gets into the end zone, so we got a 7-7 ball game. Into the second quarter we'd go. More CDM football. This time Annette's going to roll to his left. Looking. Dorset Stecker on the corner route over a leaping defender. Good job bringing the ball in. So now it's a 14-7 lead for Corona Del Mar. More defense this time. Cash Pershaw is going to drop back. Looking. It's 4th down. He's going to jump in front of the route. Gets the interception. So the defense playing great for CDM early on. Gets the ball back to the offense with good field position. Then Annette to Garrett James. Corner of the end zone. One-hander brings it in. So it is 21-7 at the half. Things are looking good. But in the third quarter, things got kind of weird. The ball is going to hit the return man and take a bad bounce forward and be covered by Andrew Maldonado. So big break in the second half for Yorba Linda. They take advantage of it and score. Noah Trujillo, that'd make it 21-14. Then Noah Trujillo. Troy Roberts in the corner of the end zone. We got a tie ball game. But CDM would respond. Annette's going to drop back. Looking, buying time. Avoids one sack. Continues to keep the play going. Buys time better than anybody I've ever seen. As you can find Garrett James, 35 yards down the field, all alone. Sets them up in the red zone. From there, Annette to Stecker. Corner route. Hits it. And now they would take a 28-21 lead in the fourth. Yorba Linda would have a long, methodical drive. And then fullback Von Sharp, I know that guy's dad, by the way, played football with him in high school, would get in the end zone. They give it to him. We got a 28-28 ball game. We're going into overtime. Now, Yorba Linda would score first in overtime. So now, CDM's got to answer. Down 7. 1-on-1, no safety help. Annette sees it. But the defender does a great job, gets in front of the receiver, intercepts it, and just like that, the perfect 10-0 season comes to a tough end. Great game. They had their opportunities. They gave Yorba all they could handle, but in the end, Yorba had what it took to get it done.
The Sea Kings, so close. Oh, you just feel for them. I mean, tough loss, but I mean, I have going into the playoffs. That was like a playoff game. Annette just continues to impress. Those throws they are making, pinpoint accuracy, putting the ball right to a place, and props to the receiving core. You know, like when I was coaching receivers, I always told them that the quarterback is throwing to a spot. He's not throwing to you. It's your job to be at that spot. And boy, those receivers with Annette, you're right on par with each other. It's like they're reading each other's minds, and I think that's going to cause trouble for some defenses in CIF, but we'll just have to wait and see. But tough loss for the Sea Kings, but I know they're going to bounce back.
Taryn?
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if Corona Del Mar lost. Brady Annette is still one of the best quarterbacks in Orange County. Fantastic quarterback. It's a tough one for Corona Del Mar. I mean, they were up 21-7. I was thinking, well, as long as Corona Del Mar can control the clock and or possibly score at will, then I think they have a shot. But Yorba, when they went on that long methodical drive and they left CDM with only a minute to go in regulation, I was thinking, can we get a Brady Annette masterclass or will it go overtime? The worst possible case happened. It went overtime, and unfortunately for Corona Del Mar, they just wound up falling short. But it's better that they lost now than they lost in the postseason. I think Corona Del Mar will be fine. I mean, they're still having a fantastic season, and they can hang their hats on how they almost beat Yorba on the road. That's not an easy place to win at. So I feel for the Sea Kings as well, but sometimes that's just the way the ball bounces.
And look, they're still co-league champs, kind of. That's an issue we'll talk about on the fan zone. That's a whole different situation. And then, it really is now a question of do they go D2 or D3? D3, they got a darn good chance. D2 could be tricky.
I think D3 is where they want to be. There was,
there
was some preliminary talk that they would be in D2, but we'll see. Like I said, that's 45 minutes from now. We'll know what's going on. So, game Taryn broadcast, Newport Harbor. Sailors.
Murphy's laughing. This was one of those games where Harbor spots their opponent 29 points. And I don't care how good you are, it's tough to overcome that. Let's get into it. We're going to pick up action in the second half. Already
22, actually.
Was it 22?
Yeah.
Tomato. All right. Jake Muir warming up. Finally going to get cooking. It's going to drop back. Second and 10 is going to pick up 20 on the scramble. So Jake Muir's legs kind of igniting that offense. From there, Muir would find his outstanding wideout, Jackson Strimick. 20 yards later, Harbor would be in the red zone. From there, Muir would finish the drive. He's going to drop back and find Ty Ditto, the back corner of the end zone. So it's 32 at this point, 29-6. They'd get the ball back, they being Harbor. More offense, this time Muir to Ryan Palmer, 60 yards. And it's 32-12, so we kind of got a ball game. Villa Park's got to wake up if they want to hang on, and they would. Vince Legata, the quarterback's going to run a QB draw up the middle. We'll get the score. That'd make it 39-12, giving them a little bit more breathing room. But Harbor wouldn't go away. Muir's going to drop back and find Ty Ditto down the middle, 35 yards. So the Harbor offense is cooking. More Muir. This time he's going to find Ryan Palmer, steps up in the pocket, gets him closer and closer into that red zone. And then finally, Glenn Baranowski out of the T formation is going to bulldoze over the defenders. So it's 39-18. The book says to go for two. They will. Muir looking, finds Palmer, dragging across the middle of the end zone. Hits him, so it's now 38-20. More Newport Harbor. They'll get the ball back. Muir is going to swing it out to Jonah Takamori in the flat. Edging closer and closer to the end zone. Finally, Muir would finish up the drive. He's going to look for Ty Ditto. He's going to hit him over the middle. Touchdown Harbor, but that's as close as it would get. The final would be 39-26. A valiant effort in the second half. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. And so give props to Villa Park. They went in, got the win, and now Harbor's got to play the waiting game.
That was the adjective I was going to use, valiant. Sailors 2-8 season, tough Tough campaign. We all know that. But we've talked about it before. There's probably a 50-50 chance they get into CIF, and stranger things have happened when teams get in. So, congratulations to what the Sailors were able to accomplish this season. Like you said, valiant effort from Vermeer to come back like that from some injury stuff. Congratulations to him. I know he's a senior, so hopefully they get some more opportunities to play some more football, especially for that great senior class that Newport Harbor has. But congratulations to the Sailors, and hopefully we're seeing them play next week again.
Taryn?
Yeah, Villa Park actually started a quarterback by the name of Jacob Tichenall, freshman quarterback, and it wasn't Vince Lagata. They made Vince Lagata kind of a gadget player, like a Taysom Hill type of guy. So overall, look, you just can't spot a team like Villa Park 22 points in the first half. And this was kind of the big problem with Newport Harbor. They scored 22 points. They failed to score anything in their last 3 games, and that's just unfortunate for them. And Villa Park was playing this game thinking that they needed to get to 500, and they were playing like their lives were on the line. And I felt Newport Harbor was playing too tight and too conservative. So overall, I think this was a tough one for Newport Harbor. Villa Park is a darn good team. They have a lot of good players on that team of theirs. So I think for Villa Park, they deserve the credit. They deserve their flowers. But Newport Harbor, the 28 points are actually the most they've scored in a league game. So got to give credit to Newport Harbor, but you just can't allow themselves to, allow the opponent to score 29 unanswered.
All right, well, let's move on. All the Huntington Beach schools are playing on Friday. I guess they don't care about Halloween. Thankfully, the other schools do, because that saved me a little family time. Okay, let's talk Huntington. The one team that actually won this week of all the teams. Has that ever happened? We've gone to Ophir.
I can't recall.
All right, well, let's get into this. Huntington Beach was on the road, last game of the regular season for them. Defense setting the tone early. Johnny Yadrick, arm over. The offensive lineman's going to get the sack, so the defense setting the tone early. They'd get the ball back for the offense. And from there, Brady Edmonds is going to drop back. Buying time in the pocket, looking, going to find the man of steel in the back corner of the end zone, loses the defender, so Huntington Beach would score first, 7-0. We're moving on to the second quarter. Elda would respond. Hudson Shadow to Luke Tucker. Great ball, great catch in the corner of the end zone with PI. So we got a 7-7 ball game. Pretty competitive early on. But Huntington Beach would come roaring back. Edmonds to Troy Foster, who's as good as anybody at yards after the catch, is going to pick up an extra 15 when it should have only been a 5-yard completion. And he's inching closer and closer to that record. Then Edmonds looking, buying time, avoids 1 sack, avoids a 2nd sack, finds Blake Smith dragging across the middle of the field. 25 yards later, Huntington Beach would be in the red zone. More offense this time. Nathan Villanueva, the running back, getting that ground game going up the middle. He's going to bounce it out and edges team closer and closer to the goal line. Finally, they'd finish off the drive. Xavier Atkinson on the 3-yard run up the middle. So it's 14-7 at half. Only a 7-point ball game. Huntington Beach in control, but not pulling away. But the third quarter, the only score of the third quarter would be an Edmonds to Foster. 66-yard bomb beats 2 defenders by 5 yards. He could have walked into the end zone. They'd missed the PAT, but it's 20-7. Looking good, and then special teams would finish this thing off. I want you to watch Jameel Champion on the bottom. He's going to run around the fullback or the upback, blocks it, recovers it. So now it's 27-7. Huntington Beach in control, but late. Eldorado would make it interesting. Alonzo Aguiano on the 5-yard trap. Nice job up the middle. Runs over the defender, so it's 27-14. They're going to have to onside it. But the mighty Oilers would recover it. They would take a knee. They'd go on to win this thing 27-14, finish the regular season 8-2. Nice job, HB. Momentum going into the playoffs.
Hey, credit to Eldorado. They made that more of a game than people might have thought it would have been. But Huntington Beach, as usual, Foster, Edmonds connection. But when you have guys like Champion making plays on special teams like that, scoring touchdowns, that's what you need to win playoff games. So Huntington Beach seems like they're the well-oiled machine, doing all the right things at the right time. Yeah, exactly. So congratulations to the Oilers. They are definitely playoff bound. We'll see who they get in the first round. There's a rumor right now that it could be Edison.
That will be a stage 5, all hands on deck alert. I will spend the night before to get into that stadium.
Can you imagine Edison, Huntington Beach in cap shoe?
Stay tuned. That's coming up. Taryn, thoughts?
Yeah, I think Kevin said it best. El Dorado was kind of fighting for their playoff lives to try to get to 500 because they just needed to win one more game. Unfortunately for them, Huntington Beach was standing in their way. They were able to methodically put together a good game. It wasn't the cleanest, flashiest game. I felt they were kind of in cruise control more so than hitting the overdrive. But I think overall for Huntington Beach, this was a good bounce back win. You got to remember they had a very tough game against Crean Lutheran, but they knew the magnitude of this game. They knew they couldn't go into the playoffs on a 2-game losing streak, and they were able to get the job done on the road. And Troy Foster, he is just still continuing to put up big numbers, and Brady Edmonds, still another masterclass from him.
Yeah, 2 thoughts real quick. Huntington Beach is not a one-trick pony. A lot of different guys are stepping up, and like Dole said, if you want to win a playoff championship, you can't be a one-trick pony. So other guys are contributing, and it's not that uncommon after a heartbreaking loss to come out flat the next week. And I won't say they were firing on all cylinders, but they did what they had to do. They went on the road. They got a big win. They got some momentum. So now stay tuned for the playoffs.
All right. Game Taryn and I attended on Friday night. Alpha League battle between San Clemente and Edison.
Not the most exciting game as far as highlights go. I struggled with this one, so bear with me. Not a lot of scoring. Well, let's just get into this. Early on, it was more about missed opportunities. Sam Thompson's going to drop back. His wideout's got a touchdown, but you got to use 2 hands. You can't get cute with this one-handing stuff. But the defense would keep him in it. Conrad Barrera off the edge. Beats the tackle. Beats the fullbacks. Going to bring down the San Clemente quarterback, so it's zeros after 1 quarter. Second quarter, still zeros. Sam Thompson is going to roll to his left. From Brendan Verez, big first down. They wouldn't score, but they would get a field goal, so it's 3-0. More defense. 4th down, stop. Jude Gonterman's going to tackle the back short of the first down. So another big stop for Edison. Like I said, not a lot of scoring. But in the third quarter, it's 3-3. Finally, Carson Sloan would get a touchdown. So San Clemente would actually take a 10-3 lead in the 4th. Down 7, Thompson's going to get things going. Logan Hampton, 4th down completion. More Edison this time. Thompson again is going to drop back. Roll his left. Hampton again is going to bring it in. So they're driving for that game-time possible lead-taking score. Thompson. 4th down again. Aiden DiGiacomo brings it in, so they're etching closer and closer. Finally, they get to the goal line. And then, in the flat, Max Thomas is going to run over not 1, but 2 defenders. That's why we squat, guys. So they're going to get in the end zone, pull within 1. Coach Grady's going to go for 2, get the win. I love the call. Thompson's going to roll out to the left, looking. He's got a receiver, but the defensive back's going to recognize it, jumps in front of it, bats it away. Heartbreaking loss. Great game. Came down the end, but in the end, San Clemente would win this one 10-9.
Alpha League insanity. So the 2 Alpha League games this week, let's just put this into perspective. In the 2 Alpha League games, there were 144 total points scored. 125 in the Los Al versus Mission Viejo game, 19 in the Edison versus San Clemente game. Put that into perspective. You have the ultimate offensive highlight game, and then you have the ultimate defensive highlight game. So I think hopefully all 4 teams are getting in the playoffs. Edison is maybe the question mark, but like I said earlier, there's that rumor there might be playing Huntington Beach. But the good news for Edison and San Clemente is, boy, their defenses look pretty good.
I know the record isn't what they want, but they're battle tested. Let's be honest.
They're battle tested.
If they get a D3, which is what the assumption is, they've got a darn good chance. But let's wait and see. Taryn, any thoughts?
Yeah. Kevin basically stole what I pretty much was going to say. We had Mission Viejo Los Alamitos as the highest scoring game on Thursday, and then Friday we had San Clemente versus Edison as one of the lowest scoring games in the Alpha League.
Taryn, you gave me a stat. What was it, like their lowest production of the...
So this was the fewest points scored for Edison, 9 points, fewest points scored this season. Edison only had 164 total yards of offense, while San Clemente had 176. the biggest yards on a play for Edison was actually 15, while San Clemente had 36 biggest yards on a play. So it was one of those defensive matches. It was a chess match, an old school Big Ten football game. I do like the call that Coach Grady had for going for 2. Unfortunately, it was just a great play by the defender and whatnot. And I'll give Edison this. Their defense looks pretty solid. It's just that they got to convert on some of their offensive opportunities. And I hate to say this for Edison, but San Clemente, do you two know who the defensive coordinator is for the Tritons?
Well, obviously, I know the offensive coordinator, Troy Kopp.
I have no idea.
The D coordinator is
Matt Poston, the former Tesoro coach.
Oh.
So that was a
Okay.
Matt Poston masterclass.
Okay.
So I got to tip my hat to San Clemente because now they're automatically in the postseason. They knew if they win, they're automatically in. But if they had lost, it would have been a coin flip. And I think Edison might have won the flip from what I overheard with Rich Boyce. But overall, it was still a great game. Probably one of the more weirder games that I've attended. It reminded me of 2010 when Newport Harbor played San Clemente, and Newport Harbor went for 2 in overtime, and then San Clemente denied it, and that was kind of the game that changed the trajectory for them. But
I can
digress.
enjoy and appreciate games like that. It's just hard to make highlights. I'll be honest. That was the problem. Like you said, when 15 yards is your biggest play, I'm really stretching for plays.
You did
but-
a
15,
great
yeah.
job.
I appreciate
You made
that.
it work.
All right, let's
So,
wrap this thing up.
Marina.
The Vikings on the road against Beckman. Beckman trying to win the league championship with the perfect record. But early on, Gunnar Mickelson off the edge, setting the tone for the game. Is going to bring down the quarterback, Noah Nam. So Marina would get the ball first with an opportunity to score first, or would they? First big break of the game would go towards Beckman. It's going to bounce the ball and just take a weird bounce, hits the return man, or one of the return men. He didn't see it coming. And so Beckman would take over on their side of the field. Okay, from there, they drive it, and Noah Nam, the quarterback on the QB sneak, would get in the end zone, so it's 7-0 early on, Beckman. But Marina would respond. 3rd and 10, Francis Saporito is going to roll those right, nothing there, is going to tuck it, go against the grain, pick up 30 yards, so 3rd down, big run. The drive would continue into the second quarter. This time, Francis is going to shoulder shake the safety, gets one-on-one coverage to Ben Ramos. It's going to set up shop in the red zone. Then finally, Saporito would finish off the drive on the QB keeper. Is going to pull it, follows blockers into the end zone. So we got a 7-7 ball game at halftime. However, the third quarter was all Beckman. A little flip on 4th down to the back. Aiden and Tran, 20 yards later, they've got a 14-7 lead. They'd get the ball back. This time, Nam, the quarterback, would find Noah Nicholson on the little hook and go. And just like that, it's 21-7. But Marina was not down. They were not out. Francis Saporito is going to roll the right, find the slot receiver on the out route. 3rd down completion, keeps the drive going. This time, Francis is going to pull it. Barrels his way down to the goal line. They'd say he was short. He would ultimately get it again, this time on the quarterback sneak. It'd make it 21-14. They'd get the ball back, but they'd run out of time, and the final would be 21-14 Beckman. Game, set, match.
So Marina, I saw some early predictions. They have them getting in Division 8. So they're right on that playoff, maybe looking in a little bit. I think they're going to get in. So Marina definitely needs to regroup. They had kind of a tough go of it in league, 2-3, I believe, which is not what they expected. But if anybody can prepare a team, it's Coach Charlie. And I know if they get in the playoffs, they will take advantage of that opportunity.
Look, last year they went 9-1 and kind of laid an egg in the first round. Maybe this year they have the tough regular season,
Right.
but go on a streak in the playoffs. So look, the new season's starting.
Yeah.
Everything you've done up to this point is irrelevant. Now's the third and most important season. Taryn, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Marina gave all that they could against a very talented Beckman team. Remember, this was kind of a revenge game for the Patriots, but unfortunately for Marina, they just fell short. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. I actually expected this to be a little bit worse, no offense to Marina, but with all due respect to them, they still got to do better on the road. They got to have more production offensively. That being said, better to lose now than to lose when it truly matters in the postseason. So I think for Marina. They just got to rest up and hope their name will be called on in terms of the playoffs. I'm sure they'll get in just because their body of work does show it. And honestly, I think the Vikings are definitely going to be a scary team to watch for in terms of making the postseason.
Yes.
All right. And now a word from our sponsor. Okay. Fountain Valley.
Yes. So, Murphy, can you put up my screen real quick? I'm saving the receipts. Just so you know, right there in the left-hand corner, I've sent a request multiple times. I cannot show the game if I don't get it. Now, if they don't want us to show the highlights, I get it, especially if it's a loss. So, not a knock on Fountain Valley, that they're well within their rights, but if I don't get the film via huddle, I can't show it. They came up short. They're going to finish, I think, 1-9. I got to think their season's over, but they got a lot to build on. They got some key guys coming back. They're going to be in a league next year that's more appropriate, so we'll cover them next year, and we'll cheer for them.
All right, on to the playoffs. Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Please also follow us on the social media platforms, X, TikTok, and Instagram. Also, sunsetrewind.com, wonderful website we have that not only covers football, but a variety of other Sunset League sports. Special thanks to Murphy Cargus for being here today, directing and producing. Taryn Rodriguez, best reporter in the business. Mo Patios, best at breaking down film in the business. We'll be back next week with a playoff edition. Go Sunset Rewind teams. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Be nice to each other. Take care, and God bless.
Hashtag Go Sunset League Go.
Yes. Yes.